Good evening. Thank you for tuning in. This is my Let's Live with Thurman Greco, coming to you from scenic downtown Woodstock, New York, on Channel 23. This is the Woodstock Show, and it's also coming to you on YouTube. And we got a guest. We've got a guest tonight that we've been waiting for months. We have been waiting. We have Anula. So I am so happy that we have Anula. Anula, you are the kickoff. I am hoping to have all of the shows this summer be political.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, until
Wonderful.
Election day.
Okay.
You're running for dog catcher, we'll take it. Running for president, we'll take it. Everybody needs, because that's what this show started out to be.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's really wonderful.
And then we digressed, and it's time we got back to our roots. And I want to say this very quickly before we introduce you. I already did. I'm hoping you can refer people to me who will come on the show who have a political bent. And so that's the end of the lecture, of the arm twisting or whatever.
will.
Can you introduce, just say a couple of things. We don't need an introduction, but hey.
My name's Anula Courtis. For anybody who doesn't know who I am the new town supervisor, and I'm really happy to be back on the show. I really am. So thank you very much for having me.
Oh, wow. And that was such a journey, wasn't it?
It was. So I think back now and again when I ran for council. I spent 2 years as a council member, and then I ran for supervisor for the primary. It was a tough race, and it's just, and now I'm running again, actually. So we have this situation where the state is tying my position, all supervisors and all legislators, to even year elections. So I've been in office for a very short amount of time, and I am running again.
Who's running against you?
I don't have an opponent.
Well, then
No
that ought to
Democrat.
make it a little bit easier.
I hope so. I hope I make it on the ballot.
Yeah,
I need
that's
enough
true.
signatures to get on the ballot.
Well, so people are going around with petitions now.
Yes.
Okay, so that's what we need to know, that when somebody knocks on your door, you go and you sign the petition.
Yes. Yes.
And how you're very, very new at this.
Yes.
So being very new at this, do you have any expectations?
I came in with rather high expectations for myself and for my administration, and basically to deliver on the things that I said I would deliver on. So the things that matter most to Woodstock, affordable housing, clean water, these are the things that, despite my very short time in office, I have already started to address. And I'm excited about it. I think of my time in like a 3-lane highway. The first one has to do with cleaning up crap, to put it bluntly. The second one is to improve operations. And the third lane of this 3-lane highway is to improve things, new things. Like how do we do something exciting and new so that we could take Woodstock and move ourselves forward. And I really want to see us lead on some key issues moving forward. And I have mostly adhered to those 3 lanes for my 2.5 months in office. And it's been an adventure.
Has it really?
It has. So early in my administration, we had one of the biggest storms in, they say, 20 years. So snow that would not stop. Instead of, sometimes we hear, oh, you're going to get 12 inches, and then it's like 8 inches and 5 inches, and everybody says, oh, well, this one went the other way. It kept getting bigger and bigger. And so very, very swiftly, I realized that we were going to have a really big environmental situation and a safety issue in our town. So I coordinated the right people, the right employees from town. We had fire, police, and some other key folks at the table. And, everybody looked at me to make a decision. And we did it. I heard everybody out, we made decisions, and we executed on it. And I'm very proud of how Woodstock navigated that very large storm. I did declare a state of emergency for us. That was a financial decision as well as a safety decision. When a supervisor calls for a state of emergency, then you can make an attempt to recover costs so that this way taxpayers are not burdened with extraordinary costs that were not budgeted for. And also, then other departments can go out there and ask cars to move off the road. So this way the plows can freely go up and down 212 and make everybody's job easier. And so we keep residents safe, but we also keep our town employees safe. So that was something that was rather big for a new supervisor. I don't know that that's ever happened before. So that was very interesting. And it hasn't happened in a long while anyway. And then we had a fire on Tinker Street, and we had very large snow banks. So very grateful to one of our fire chiefs who came in and said, "Hey, supervisor, make sure you get those fire hydrants out from under all that snow." I took him seriously. I spoke with water sewer. I said, "You've got to get those fire hydrants out." And the next day there was a fire. And sure enough, that fire hydrant was exposed and ready, and thank goodness, so that no one was injured. So it's been quite an adventure. Yeah, that was month one.
That's wonderful.
Yes. Yeah.
That's wonderful. And you talked about one of the things that you're concerned about is housing.
Yes.
Can we talk about the housing for a minute?
Yes. Yeah.
I heard a rumor that there is a possibility that the school may become housing.
Well,
is that a rumor?
We don't know. What we do know.
So it's still a rumor.
We're in discussions.
Oh, well, that's not a rumor. If we're in discussion, that's serious.
We have very early discussions.
Whoa,
so,
yes.
So one of the things that the school is, I did advocate for the school to stay open. However, the decision has been made to close the school in 2028. And I did meet with the right people at from the school district, and we have had 2 discussions about Woodstock purchasing that property so that we could utilize that for housing. The location would be amazing. It is accessible to Tinker Street and going to our markets and just walking into town. So that's something that would be very nice. So it's very early. We've got a lot of work in front of us, but those conversations have started. So I really did try to hit the ground running. It's not really gossip.
That is exciting.
Right. We don't, and again, there's a lot to work out.
That's
but
okay.
We are starting that dialogue, and it's a serious dialogue.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, it sounds to me like you're walking and talking and chewing gum all at the same time.
Yes. So something else, I wasn't really going to mention this, but since we talked about affordable housing, we have a fantastic housing committee, and they have done tons and tons of work, and we're getting close to choosing a property. They're going to present 3 properties to the town board, but something that I'm super excited about, and this is probably breaking news, not that we've heard back yet, but I did have a really nice lunch with our Congressman Pat Ryan.
Yes.
Talked about the need for affordable housing, and we put in for money from his office, and my office and his office have been in discussions for the last couple of weeks, and we have today finalized our submission, and now we keep our fingers crossed. So if we get those dollars, we will be able to, with significance, start the process of looking at a property and getting a shovel in the ground. So that's super exciting.
That is not gossip either.
It is not gossip.
That is really.
It has been 18-hour days, sleepless nights.
And how many hours have you been in office now? Just a few? Just a few?
I lost track. But, so while we're dealing with the day-to-day operational items, and also there are things that do need to be cleaned up and improved upon, we are also moving forward and looking toward those things that we know would help Woodstock and the people in this town. So I'm super excited to share some of this.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And what about the town board? How are they doing?
I love the town board. So the town board is an amazing group of people. So we have councilperson Reggie Earls was appointed by the town board, and that he's just such a great balancing personality on the town board. He is working with the cemetery committee. We're going to have a nice audit that we really do need. And he's also helping with HR process, so human resources, with developing hiring practice, with what do reviews look like, how do we properly onboard somebody, how do we properly offboard an employee. And these are things that our town does not have at this point in time. So Reggie is bringing that to the table. We have councilperson Lily Korolkoff, and she has been amazing. She is a community liaison. When the community center needed to be staffed because we opened it up, when the county declared a state of emergency, that gave us the ability to open up the community center and staff it with volunteers. And she was that liaison who pulled in the community, and we offered the space to people. And thank you to the county. They sent us cots and water, and the community filled in with food, and it was really wonderful. And that was something that Lily worked on. We have councilperson Lori Osmond, and she's a dynamo. So Lori has been looking at emergency notification systems so that people can get texts in the event of an emergency, and people can, even if you don't have a cell phone, maybe you can get an email, so you could opt into some type of a system. And she has spent countless hours on that, and she's also looking at online payments for certain town matters, and she's also looking at town websites. So she's been very, very busy and active and engaged. And we have councilperson Laura Ricky, who's been on the town board, and she is doing very good work with Complete Streets and a host of other initiatives that will really help our town to move forward. There's going to be some drone footage being captured of our scenic overlay so that we can have better enforcement on environmental matters. So we have a snapshot in time to refer back to. And so Laura is very involved in a number of things. That's just a couple of them. So the board is excellent. They want to effect change. They're very smart, and everybody on the town board is willing to work very hard, which I sincerely appreciate.
That's wonderful.
It's a great board, and I think that Woodstock is very lucky to have this town board.
Well, that's, sometimes out of adversity or out of chaos comes something good.
Yeah.
Very
true. Very true.
You don't get to this point if this is just a very smooth path.
Right. Yeah.
And of course that's hard to realize when you're going through it. What's happening.
Very true.
So do you have any ideas about what's maybe happening in the next 6 months or year?
As far as things moving forward?
As far as anything.
Yeah. Well, we do hope to make progress with housing. We also have the situation with clean water. And the issue of PFAS in the water is not as simple as putting a filtration system on the wells, because we have a well house that was built in, I think it was 1960. And so we have to, it's a little bit of a bigger project where we have to possibly build a new one to tap into water and then put that filter on if necessary. So that's something that I'm very mindful of and we're looking at. We have, I'm just going to put the elephant in the room on the table. We have 10 Church Road, which many people are concerned about, that is undergoing legal review, I believe for the first time since this happened, where we do have an attorney who is looking at what was done, if things were done correctly, if there is a way to have a cleanup, what does that look like? Is it even safe to have a cleanup? Because sometimes if something has been in place for a very long time, there's this idea that you may not want to disturb it, but there are alternative methods to handle things. So we are dealing with those things as well. Better operations. So I think the work that Reggie is doing is really important in how employees deal with each other day to day, how they deal with management. Our employee handbook is very out of date, and that's something that we will be updating. We're also going to be looking at emergency management plans. So climate resilience is really big. Our town has a lot of soil erosion, road erosion. We currently do not have any strategies in place to handle that from the top down, literally. So runoff coming off the mountains, and as you could imagine, gravity doing its job, it's just eroding roads, and we'll be looking at our culverts to make sure that those are the right size and that we are equipped to handle the storms that we believe will be coming, that we're seeing. We're seeing them every year anyway. So those types of things are very important, and some of the items that we'll be looking at in the next few months. Fiscally, looking at the budget and figuring out there are shortfalls in the budget in various places. So how we're going to handle that, that's something that my office is looking into. And also looking at a forensic audit so that we have a clean set of books and we know where and how we're moving forward. That's something that is also very important. There's a lot. There's quite a lot. And, and also fun events. So, our town is going to have a lot of great events. There's going to be a PBA Easter egg hunt, and we're going to have a wonderful Pride Parade again. So I'm excited about that. Our veterans are going to have their parade for Memorial Day. We have a significant event coming up where a Torah is going to be finished being written here in the town of Woodstock, which is apparently a once-in-a-lifetime or more opportunity. So we will have that. Just lots of things that we could move forward and improve upon. But we can't forget the fun stuff also, and the things that bring us together as a community. So there's a host of those. There's going to be a race. I think a woman's race is going to happen. So it's good times.
Mixing it in with all of the
Absolutely.
business.
Yeah, we've got we know we have problems, we're going to deal with them, together, but at the same time, we can come together and spend time and support our neighbors, those who like to run or those who have kids, wanting to find Easter eggs, we should have a good time as well. That's important.
What about the traffic situation, the parking situation?
Ooh. Yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. So the parking situation. Is, it's funny because, we have multiple town parking lots, but two that people often think about, the Rock City one and the Mountain View one. I understand that there are enormous potholes in one already. Those actually will get patched over in the next couple of weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah,
hey, I'm glad I asked.
Yeah, so we also are having a shift in leadership at Highway. So our highway superintendent, he's retiring, resigning, and you know, he's done good things for the town. And the folks who are going to be taking over, they're the two deputies. And so I think also there's a chance to look at, you know, any new ideas that they may have with how do we better maintain this moving forward. So I'm excited to sit down and hear new ideas, and we'll come together to figure out how we can prevent what appear to be craters on the moon in our parking area. One of the other things that I am looking at is, you know, currently the town is losing revenue because the person managing the lot and collecting the fees, it's just not a very healthy environment. It's cold in the winter, it's very hot in the summer. So are there better ways for us to utilize technology to capture who's parking, where are they parking, you know, to capture those fees, quite frankly, that will help us.
Has anybody talked about parking meters?
Yeah, my office is talking about that.
I think that would be the most wonderful thing.
Easy, you know, town residents still could scan something that says, you know, they park for free. So that is something that I'm thinking about, and maybe we could shift that job to something else so that the person could work more hours, first of all, not lose time due to weather conditions, but also the town can get those revenues, which then would help us maintain those parking lots.
Right.
So that's something that
But I'm
is really
talking about
important.
also parking lots on.
Oh, on the
Tinker's-
streets? No, we haven't
No.
talked about that, no.
You have not.
No.
Has
In
there-
the parking lot, we're thinking
Is
about
there
that.
been any reference at all to handicap parking?
Mhm. So we have Complete Streets, and they're looking at the parking on Tinker Street, and they're very focused on handicap parking and perhaps reducing some of the other parking. Reason being, there are a number of safety problems that we have where, let's say you're coming down where, let's say Joshua's used to be, right? And now it's Allison's, and you're trying to make a left, you're not gonna make a left. You're gonna make a right and go around the block, okay? Because you can't see. So they are looking at parking there, and they are very sensitive to and aware of and considering the handicap spots as well. So that's something that the town is working on. Complete Streets, actually, there's going to be a town presentation that will talk about a DOT project where the sidewalks will be fixed, so those will be more accessible. I think somebody from the Department of Transportation will be present. It's next Tuesday, the 24th. I don't have a calendar in front of me, at 6 o'clock on right here, right next door.
Right
Rock
next
City
door.
Road. So, you know, that'll be a nice event where people could hear directly and see the plans, you know, what this is gonna look like. And then there's the idea that after the post office near Schoonmaker, that the town would in fact build a shared path that goes to the other post office.
Oh,
so
there's
that
gonna be
even
another
more
post
people.
office.
There is another one out in Bearsville past the,
Oh,
by the
right.
Cup. Yeah, so post office to post office. So that's under consideration as well. And those plans will be discussed for public input and just so that everybody knows what's going on. So there's quite a bit happening.
My focus about the parking is that there really is, for all practical purposes, no handicap parking in Woodstock.
Yeah.
There really is.
Right. It's
Very
little.
There's very little,
Yeah.
and a lot of it, every time, you know, I'm in that category, and it's very frustrating when you go up and you get ready to park in the parking space, and there's a car there and it's not a handicap. And, you know, the people just come in, pull
Yeah.
in, you know, get out, lock their car and walk away,
Yeah.
and that happened to me. I was just, oh, you know, and then there's handicap parking, but handicap parking is very interesting when you're going up or down an angle,
Okay.
pushing a wheelchair up, or hanging onto the wheelchair that's going down. And that's the case
Huh.
back there behind that public parking lot that we're
Right.
talking about,
Okay.
you know. It's just been really interesting.
Yeah.
And people think that if you have a handicap parking slot and this is your car, that there's this other spot here that is not needed. Well, it's actually needed so you can open the door and get the wheelchair
That's
there,
true.
you know?
Right.
So you
Right.
do need the two spaces. And so, but that's where the scooters and the Vespas and the motorcycles go.
Oh, interesting. Okay, good to know.
You
Good to know.
you know, it's a really interesting
Yeah.
thing.
Well, I know the fines are also very low. There's a
There's
woman in
nobody
town-
to give a fine.
There's the enforcement we will be working on, but also I believe it's $25, and that's very low. We have a woman in town, Jackie, and she has been advocating to raise the rate to I believe she thinks the board should raise it to 150, and I support
Listen,
that.
I don't care what the rate is. There's nobody.
The enforcement.
When you see somebody in your in the
Yeah.
handicap parking space and there's no handicap thing, and she's looked at you and she said, "Listen, I'm not going to be here long. And it's okay. I'm not going to be here." Where can you go? There's no playground supervisor.
Yeah,
You know.
yeah. I'm going to give you a ticket pad. We'll get the chief to give you
Yes,
the
I'll
authority.
take it.
We're going to deputize you to give a ticket.
Oh, and it's just, you know what? We've just been here too long.
Yeah.
We're too old. It's time for the nursing home.
No. I think it's time for enforcement and to think through things a little differently. That's what I think. So we'll
Do
talk
you
about
get-
this the next time and
And
see if it
how
gets
long have you
better.
been in your office?
2.5 months.
And what are the
think,
calls
yeah.
like?
Oh, the calls. So every day, so I feel that I'm consistently 200 emails behind, first of all. No matter if I go through 200 emails today,
You're still
I
200
remain
behind.
200 behind. And, so we do our best to prioritize. I believe there was a very big, a bunching up of things from last year where innumerable numbers of people have said that they waited until January or February because they didn't want to bring it forward last year. They thought maybe it wouldn't
is
go
too funny.
forward.
They've been saving up
They've
their
been saving
emails.
it up.
That is
emails,
that is
projects,
choice.
Yes. So,
That is choice.
so we're working through all of that at a very fast pace, but also a responsible pace. So apologies if I have not emailed you back. We're going through as
Well,
fast
now,
as
is
possible.
your secretary new, or she was here
She's
before?
new and she's fantastic, and she is also going through hundreds of emails, literally, in a day. So, and I expect that at some point it's going to level out. We've already seen a decline where.
Have you really?
Yeah, because we've been just going through a lot of it, but we still have things to get through, and the grants and things like that are all happening now. So we'll get there. But what's it like? We have a lot of calls. And some of the calls are really nice and fantastic, like thank you and goodbye. Literally, just thanks for the job you're doing.
Goodbye.
And those really break up a tough day.
Yeah.
So, and then other calls, for instance, we received in the last couple of weeks a flurry of calls where people were concerned because they have, at the Habbat prayers, in the Jewish religion, their prayers, and I guess they want for the police to pay extra attention. So given the national events, and those concerns have come to us, and so my office will get those calls. So we get all kinds of calls that are just very, very interesting, to say the least. We also get gifts from time to time, so that has been really nice. Whoever the person is or people who sent cookies and remained anonymous but signed it from Sherwood Forest, where Robin Hood had made Marion live. Thank you. The staff loved it, and we really, thank you. It was one of those tough days, and then these cookies came from Sherwood Forest. So we have all kinds of things happen in the office. Somebody dropped off a very old-looking document that goes back to the 70s, and it was a petition. It was a very long, like crinkly, antique paper, and it was like a petition that Woodstockers signed to have an overnight police department. And all the signatures were there. So we turned that over to the Historical Society today, and it was quite fascinating. So
Wonderful.
all kinds of things. It's just really, it's a great thing. If you like people and you are good at problem solving and enjoy that, it's really a wonderful job most of the time.
And you bring your puppy dogs with you.
So the dogs come into the office more days than not, and they stay in the office. They are well loved, and they in return love the staff. It's a little bit of puppy therapy that
Yes.
goes around. And
No, that's necessary.
It is,
It
yeah.
really is.
yeah, the mood, as soon as they walk in, one of them barks once and announces her presence, and
And okay,
everybody's
now,
happy.
Now we're happy.
Yes.
It's time to be.
Literally, the mood changes.
What about the youth center? What's happening? Do we know what's happening in the youth center?
Well, we don't. We did attempt to get a grant. I do not have updated information on that.
So the grant is in process.
We did apply for a grant. The decision was never made on, do we do this? So the $30 million project did get scaled down significantly. There probably at some point will be a formal presentation to the town board. And at that point in time, what we as a town board have to better understand are our finances. We're gonna have to weigh getting the youth center out to the public to vote on yes or no. Some bonds that we think thought we're gonna be ending may not. So I wanna take probably the next 30 days to look more at our finances. We have several buildings in significant disrepair. Our highway building, our youth center has significant repair to the roof. Our town hall has roof issues. And so what I want to do is get my arms around a cost for what those repairs look like, and then figure out, yes, we want a new youth center, and we need to keep employees safe. And how do we bring this forward to the public? So that is not yet worked out.
To try to get the roofs done, yeah, several
Well, the
times.
roofs and beyond. There's some big ticket items over at Highway that create safety problems.
Yeah.
So we need to get our arms around that type of work, and then figure out what all of this looks like and how it's going to affect taxpayers, because there are people struggling. I mean, it's not an easy time at this moment, and we understand that.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Through the years, I have spoken to people that have said, I got my tax bill and there's just no way I can
Right.
pay it.
Yeah.
And you just wonder, how did it come to this? And
Yeah.
time just slowly creeps along, and then you have all of these expenses, and then
Right.
we've got the summer programs. It's time for that already.
Yes, the camp is coming up, so that's going to get started pretty soon. And you're right, it's time flies, really.
Yeah, because now is, and then we've got all the plays over at the community center
Yes.
going on.
Yes, yeah.
So there's a lot more activity now than there used to be.
Yes, yes. And we also, so my deputy, Dan, my deputy supervisor, he is working with Yvonne in my office to come up and look at how also we support the arts, and do that in a way that is cohesive with and in partnership with the county and their calendars, So we'll be working through some of that as well, so that we can continue this community activity. And, we want to be vibrant. We want to have a community, and we ought to figure out how to support the artists, but at the same time, the money, right? So these things are not really, we have to look at where in the budget we can pull from, or who can help us write the grants, and what grants do we want to go for, and go for them.
Does this town have grant writers?
We don't have a grant writer. That's something that we do want to have hire somebody for that. The county, I found out, offers some help. So again, 2.5 months in office, I'll get my arms around that, and that's something that's really important, because there is money out there for us to go out and get and bring in here for some really significant good projects.
Well, on the one hand, I think Woodstock is a very vibrant community anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you weren't doing anything, there's still a lot going
Right.
on. But at the same token, you have a vibrant community surrounded by the county
Right.
and the Hudson Valley.
Right.
So there's a lot there. There's layers.
There are layers.
That's a full-time job right there.
It is, and I do think it's important for Woodstock to look at itself as this wonderful place, but at the same time, to realize how much greater we could be, how much more information we would obtain, how much more assistance we can gain, sometimes at no cost, by really building strong relationships at a county level and beyond.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think that's really important for us to consider as we continue to move things forward, and again, lead. Like, we want to lead on some of these things. We have amazing people here who have endless amounts of energy and passion, and so how can the town build relationships and give access to people or means to help us actually complete the projects we want to do, again, without breaking the bank. It's we'll figure that out. And we're starting with, some of the things that I've mentioned already. So, yeah.
I have come to realize in a way that I didn't when I first came here, that there is a lot of this job has to do with the personality who is interested in bettering the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
There's that part.
Right.
But then there's the green eye shade.
What is that?
That's the profit and loss and the money and
yes,
all of
okay.
that thing.
Yes.
There's that part.
Yes.
Because that's really the secret.
It is. If there's no money, you can really do this much.
Right.
I mean, you can have all the ideas in the world, but without the funding, how do you execute on it?
Right.
And at the same time, this, we are all paying those taxes.
Yes.
It is our money funding these things. So it's really important to listen very well, to prioritize very well, and at the same time to figure out alternate means of the green shade. So that you mentioned, like, where else can we go to get that money to share a vision, right, with people who want to be part of that vision, and then do it. One of the things that I would like to mention, and maybe this is somewhat of an example, is that the Rotary Club, Woodstock has a Rotary Club. I was a founding member of it, and they are an amazing group of people, and they are looking for ways to help. And it's not just their muscle, although they put their muscle into it, I know, because I've pitchforked for the first time in my life the first year I was on the Rotary Club, but they also have the means to obtain financing. So a very exciting project that, again, I really have yet to make public, is that I had approached them in the middle of one of the storms in January, I think it was, and I spoke to them about our dog park and the need to overhaul our dog park. A new vision for it, a brand new everything. We want running water, we want a place for shade, we want to have better, like recycle and garbage cans, not little tin things. There are trees down everywhere. People can trip and hurt themselves. And they're gonna do it. They're gonna help us. It's gonna be a Rotary project with the town of Woodstock to overhaul our dog park. So this is
that's
super
wonderful.
exciting. Probably more breaking kind of stuff. And they're
Well,
thrilled
that's
about
very
it.
important, because I don't know what's happening now, but there was a time when I was active in the dog park. I used to go there every day, just kind of to check out.
Yeah.
There were a lot of people using that
Yes,
dog park.
Yes. Now there are very few people using it. And so if we can rebuild that in such a manner where you could, meet me there, and we could stay there for an hour and not bake in the sun, or have, like clean up the trees and things, so it's a little bit easier to navigate, then I think it would be a really nice place for people to get together. And we've seen this in other areas. Other areas have nice models. So once people hear about it, they get super excited about it. And it really is that government and other entity working together to do something really good in our community. So I'm excited about projects like that, where we extend our reach and we share a vision, and we have people come and help us execute on that vision so we can actually get it done. And it will not cost the
Well, now,
taxpayers.
what is the Rotary? It is the Rotary Club of.
Woodstock.
It's our own.
It's our own.
So when
It's
they
our
get through with
own.
that project, you can hit them up with another one.
I hope so. If we
Great.
So they're amazing,
That's
amazing
wonderful.
group of people. They are our Rotary Club, and they're vibrant,
Wow.
and passionate people, and
All
smart
ours.
people. Yes.
Yes.
Ours. Yes.
Hey, let's hear it for the
Yes,
Rotary Club.
That's right. So
That's wonderful.
yes, super exciting, and they want to be engaged in our community. So this is something that is very exciting to have these partnerships and relationships with people, and they have the ability to do that, and we don't have to go into the budget because it's not in the budget.
Right.
But we can still do something really good together. So that's the kind of thinking that I'm excited about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's well. What else have you got hidden up your sleeve? You've just
it is-
introduced a lot of brand new things that
Yes.
are luscious.
Yes, yeah. I don't know. I can't think of anything more
Well,
right now.
let's go through Let's go through. You were talking about all these civic activities.
Yeah.
Do we have a parade, a 4th of July parade here this year?
We do
you?
not.
We
No,
do not.
no.
That's probably, well, I know it wanders around
Yeah.
so that's good if you don't.
Yeah, we do not. Not at this point in time anyway.
And you've got performing arts. They're going all the time here. Yes.
Well, good to know.
Well, they
That's
are.
wonderful.
It's like that was a project that has built through the years. I mean, it's been around for a long time, but it was kind of
Nice.
down here, and now it's kind of like gone up, which is really nice.
Nice.
It's been my impression anyway. What about the different bicycle races and bicycles? Is bicycling have anything to do with Woodstock anymore?
Not at this. No one's approached my office yet about that.
Oh,
so
You don't need how
Right.
do you keep track of all of the things that are happening?
to me, I have I've always been able to kind of keep track like that. It's not been an issue for me. Knock on wood. I mean, some days I'm off, but most days I'm able to kind of keep the different bigger items in my mind, but as well work through smaller or more mid-size things, so that we have the big things often take a more amount of time and a different level of effort, but at the same time we move some of the smaller, more medium-sized things forward so that we can focus back to the big things. It's just kind of how I've always worked. One thing I do want to mention, speaking of big things, the Environmental Commission is doing Earth Day, and it would be terrible that I didn't mention the amount of effort that they are putting in. It's going to be Earth Week. It's not Earth Day. It's a whole week of events. So there's going to be, you'll find it on the town website and the town Facebook page. and amazing things. They're going to have a fashion show with Miss Plastic and I forget who else. And
my
it's going to be
gosh.
educational and storytelling, and I think there are going to be puppets at the school and a cleanup, and the Environmental Commission, my goodness, how, like, they are amazing in the work that they're doing, and also Climate Smart has picked up again, which will in turn help Woodstock to be aware about how to be more like smart about our environment and these endeavors, like how do we do things the right way, even through like zoning change or building code changes, but at the same time, it opens up the door to the green. So if we do these things, then we can get more money to help us keep doing good things.
That's
That's
true.
what we want to do, like start here and keep building, and you know, we prove ourselves and we work hard, we work smart, and then we keep moving forward. And that's really, we have so many great committees and commissions, but
Isn't Earth Week coming up
it
soon?
is coming up, yes. Please don't ask me the date on a Friday afternoon.
But it is coming
It
up.
is coming up. It's on the town website, and it's going to be wonderful.
Listen, a town website, that's important.
Oh, yes.
What is it?
It's going to be woodstockny.gov. There, our council person is still moving some stuff from the old website over. So for now, it is woodstockny.gov. And you'll
And
find
did I
Climate
hear you
Smart.
say we have a Facebook page?
Yes, we do. So you will find the Town of Woodstock Facebook page out there. That we post job openings now. So we're using Facebook to talk about opportunities to volunteer. Yeah, it's really, if you're on Facebook, check it out, follow, and please share.
I would
because
love to.
That's exciting.
Listen, tell me about getting a job with the town.
Mhm.
How does that happen?
Well, it depends on the department, but let's say a maintenance job opens up. The town board actually has to ensure that the job is actually approved. And then from there, what we are doing is we're posting that job, we're giving some level of detail, folks will apply, they will meet with that manager, and when the recommendation to the town board happens, then the town board has the option to interview that person before they vote to hire that person. So the town board ultimately hires and fires all town employees, all of them, except for elected officials. And that is a town board responsibility that I know this town board takes very seriously.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
Yes, okay, so we did cover that one.
Mhm.
And there was one other thing that I wanted to ask you that was very, very important. What about, we've covered the youth activities this summer.
Mhm.
What about opportunities for young people?
Mm.
It sounds like there's just all kinds of wonderful things.
Yes, that's something that we are really looking at when it comes to encouraging young artists. So last year, the Bear Task Force had an art contest. So we're considering doing the same this year. We're also thinking about having a youth movie night. We're considering having events where, with the Rotary, it would be fantastic to look at how youth may be involved in something like that. Ideally, it'd be great if there could be a youth program where the youth could learn how to run equipment like this. You know, something that they could put on their resume so that they can go into the world with some skills. There's been some discussion of some of the seniors maybe teaching courses to the youth, maybe some art classes, things like that. So we've got some ideas around programming. I guess I would put that in the category of programming. So we've got the skate park, we've got basketball, we've got those things which are wonderful. We want to improve those things. But at the same time, what type of programming can we offer to help with interest and things like that? I would personally love to see youth have a TV show and have them talk about whatever it is that they are passionate about. So these are some things that are still in discussion.
You know, that is so extremely important. I as a very young child, was taught. So I'm not afraid. Well, this was before television, believe me, but when it was radio,
Yeah.
I was really taught so that I was not afraid of this
Right.
or
Right.
any of these things or the wires or anything else. I talked to so many people about being on my show who confide to me confidentially that they are scared to death.
Yeah.
And they are scared, they are scared is the word, not frightened, because they never had an opportunity.
Right.
And you can play games all you want. I can remember in school as a child, the teacher teaching us all what it was like to get in an elevator in a building that had no elevator. She
Right.
was faking it. Well, you can't fake this.
That's right.
But it doesn't take but one, and then once you're over it for life.
Exactly. And they have that skill set and they've overcome something, and then they get to use it for complete creative.
And it opens up so
Exactly.
many opportunities.
Exactly.
Not being scared.
Right.
The word scare just, opens up so many opportunities.
Yeah, I think it expands
Yeah.
somebody's worldview.
Yeah.
And it's a good thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
What kind of opportunity? Woodstock also has, for the seniors, my gosh, have they got things going for the seniors?
Yes. Yes.
This building
Yeah.
is for the seniors.
Yes.
And that is such a wonderful thing.
It's fantastic. Yes.
So we have so much as a community to offer.
Yes. That's right.
I don't know what the thing is with the library. I don't know about that building. I don't know about those things.
Well, the library actually reached out, the new library, and they actually want to work with the town to look at how we can work together to, in fact, have a heating and cooling center over by the library, so that people would not have to come here to the community center, but in fact they can go there. So they proactively did that, and I'm very appreciative. And likely in the next month we'll start that discussion. So another example of working together, starting to think outside the box, and I'm seeing a lot of people who want to put their time in and their thoughts and whatever they have access to, they want to put in to better this town. And for me, that is very exciting and encouraging. I think it's fantastic.
That would be, a heating and cooling center would be very important.
Yes.
Because people do not realize that we have thousands of people who
Right.
could use these services.
That's
if-
right.
If they were available.
And it would save a lot of money. The price of energy is outrageous.
Yes.
I mean, so the idea of, having an air conditioner running all day and night is not everybody actually has the luxury to do that. So during the day, there are things that can be done. Go to the library, but it's the overnight, especially if electricity goes out or something like that, people should have the ability to go somewhere to cool off. We, as a town, have very limited resources, but at the same time, if we do work together, then we can figure out some type of a solution. And
Well,
that's where
and
we're headed.
then of course also, you can use the heating and cooling during times of storm
That's
and
right.
weather problems.
Yes, that would be the idea.
That's, I've been through a couple of those here in Woodstock where we didn't really have.
Yeah.
So that's definitely a step forward.
Yes.
I really see this as being a very dynamic period for this community.
Yes. Yeah, me too.
How is the Airbnb situation going? Do you know?
I haven't heard anything about it.
That's a good sign.
I take it as a good sign.
That is a good sign.
I mean, that's a complicated topic. It's
If it were
all
not going
bad.
well, you would.
I would hear about it for sure. I'm sure I would.
So tell me you don't know anything. That's good.
I've heard nothing on the Airbnb situation, knock on wood. So, yeah,
We'll enjoy that one.
I will. Yes.
Because that this community has so much going for it.
Yes.
and it has a lot of opportunity
Yes.
within the confines,
Right.
keeping it as a community.
I agree. It's fantastic.
Really has.
Yeah.
Do you, at this point, do you feel like running for office? Was that okay?
I'm doing it again, so I'm in it. I'm here, I'm in it. I have my 1 year, hopefully I do win, and I get 2 years, so I can stop running for a minute and take more of the energy that I do have, and work harder, frankly, for the town. So I'm in it for at least one more, we'll see.
That happened to me. I was the president in Virginia of the Virginia Association of Personnel Services, VAPS, VAPS. I had been in office, I don't know, a month, 2 months. I didn't know where the door was. And some vote somewhere in another part of the country added another year to my term. And it was like, it's like all you're doing is running.
That's what it feels like.
Signing
It took
petitions.
a year away in my case.
Yeah.
That's right.
And it's like, why did they do this to you?
Yeah.
What happened? But it's okay, and then hopefully you can do this another couple of times and kind of even that one out.
We'll see. We'll see.
Is there
one at a time.
Is there something that you would like to say to the community at this point?
What I want to say is thank you. Really, it was a strong election. The response, the interaction, the support has been outrageously wonderful, and I am here to do this again. So I will ask for your vote, but at the same time, please consider getting involved and volunteer your time. If you're not sure how, call my office and we'll talk about it, because it really is a dynamic, wonderful time right now in Woodstock, and we want the community to be involved. We can get, what is that saying? More hands make easier work?
Yeah,
something
many
like that.
hands
Many
make
hands.
light work.
There you go. So, it's nice to have the community involved in moving things in this town forward. So please consider that if you can, and tell a friend.
This is a very good time to be in Woodstock. Oh, we just got 4 minutes. Okay.
Okay.
This is a very good time to be in Woodstock. All of the storefronts, except for Taco Juan's, are taken. I can remember, when it wasn't that
That's
way,
right.
Yeah.
So
So the economy in this town is good.
knock on wood, yeah.
And the problems that you have are uptown. They are all
Yeah.
uptown.
Yeah.
And that is so fabulous.
Yeah,
You have to welcome problems because that's what you're in the job for.
That's right.
But you've got all the uptown problems.
Mhm.
You don't have the bad ones.
Right.
So that is a blessing.
Yeah.
And and everybody is so happy to have you.
Thank you. Thank you.
And one of the reasons is because you are happy to run for office. You are happy to do the job. You are happy to embrace the uptown problems,
I am.
as opposed to, this is a positive thing. Can you tell the community you want us to get involved? Are there any meetings that we need to go to? Is there something we need to do, someplace we need to be specifically?
I think that the town website and the Facebook page are really important. So right now, our planning board is looking for a member or two. I know that our zoning board of appeals is looking for a member. But also just check in with a town board meeting. That's the first and third Tuesday of the month, and it's on Zoom. It's also in person at 45 Como, and that starts at 7 o'clock. But the calendars are online, and there's so many things depending on what your passion is. The Environmental Commission, planning, complete streets, all kinds of things that are just really fantastic right now. And also call my office. Don't ask me for the phone number right now. I'm still trying to remember it. But, call the supervisor's office and we can talk through what might be a good match. And, we'll be happy to make an introduction to the chair of the different boards or committees and find a place where, people could be involved. And there are also going to be some new task forces that I will be putting together later in the year. One will be looking at the recreation camp for next year and how we might be able to do that a little bit differently. So those will be coming up as well.
Yeah, that's right, because you've got this one starting now, so it's time to start thinking about the next one.
Think about next year.
Not next year. Think about it now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, we are so happy to have you.
Thank you.
This has been such a wonderful conversation, and it's so positive, and I feel so good about our community moving forward.
Thank you.
I just really do. And thank you so much, Ellen.
Thank you, Ellen.
Yes,
thank you.
Thank you so much. We couldn't do it without you, girl.